So back in September of 2011.
No.
10.
Back in September of 2010, Mikael, John, and myself met in the studio to have a bit of a jam and go through some ideas and see if we had any new songs going on. And we ended up recording over an hour of music over a 12-hour day, where we had some beers and sat in here and just let the tape roll and got progressively drunker until we had 45 to 50 minutes of music. And we came back the day after that and cleaned up the takes. And Jan-Henrik came in and laid down what was then the first vocal demos for the album. And we took those tracks home and played around with them, and eventually we found that we could keep almost about 40 minutes of it, except for the vocals, of course, which needed some lyrics. But all in all, it was written over a very hectic and very inebriated weekend in September 2009.
10.
10.
Which year are we in?
No, we don't know which year was done, which tells you something about the weekend.
You're like regressing.
Back in 2007. But we could keep a lot of the files, and most of those original recordings are still on the album. So we cleaned them up and added some stuff, but we kept most of the framework from that weekend. And it is only after we've written the songs that we sit down and think about lyrics, because melody always comes first, and that's the most important thing for us. So we always try to listen to the tracks to see what they could be about. And listening to the early demos, the songs had a very haunted, ghostly, dark, well, they're always dark, but this had a haunted, almost modern classical music feel to it, which I think we all agreed that it had a haunted, ghostly theme to the whole, or to the music. So we started writing lyrics about various ghosts, and ghosts as they are, I mean, not necessarily Casper the Friendly Ghosts, but ghosts can be the imprint that people have made on you, and they can be memories, and they can be phantoms. They can be so many things that you have in the back of your mind, or that are literally there. And it was a very easy subject to write about, because again, it would open up the lyrics to basically, we could write about whatever we wanted, as long as there was a connotation with ghosts in the lyrics. And that's how the album started, and the idea for the album. And it developed along that theme, and the Hell Freezes Over song cycle, which is 4 songs, which are split up on the album, but they're called Hell Freezes Over 1 to 4, where Hell Freezes Over number 1 is the intro to the album, where the lead character starts having all these ghosts march by him and tell their stories, and that's an intro in a way to get the ball going and then to get the album started. Hell Freezes number 2 is about a woman who can only see ghosts, and who's in a world of her own and can only see ghosts in their worlds. And I suppose I read once, and I recently read an article which said that 80 billion people have lived on Earth so far, from the 250,000 years that we've been our version of humans. And so I suppose that there would be 10 times as many ghosts on Earth than living people. So if you can only see ghosts, then that song goes through various visions that she has. And next song, I can't remember what is.
It's
Golson.
Black Lily is about a living person that turns into a ghost, and becomes difficult to get in touch with. Maybe someone who's very depressed, or someone who is maybe suicidally depressed or
Lost a loved one.
lost a loved one, someone who retreats into him or herself.
Mm.
And Black Lily is the character trying to reach that person and trying to break through that glassy world that the person has entered. And it's about how that voice just echoes into a nothing, or I suppose the person's become like a black hole. Gold Star is about
Haitian war criminal.
yeah, it was an article again where there was a Haitian war criminal who escaped and immigrated to the U.S. and actually got a job in the Haitian community as a real estate in real estate. And because the Haitian community was so small, and a lot of the people that he would try to sell houses to knew him as a torturer from the prisons that they might have been in. And it's just an absolutely you have to be crazy to go out and meet people that you've previously tortured and have
Try and sell them houses.
and try to sell them houses. And that song is about Haitian ghost squads and how he turns a little bit crazy waiting for someone to give him a medal for what he's done, which is obviously a little bit over the top. So that's Gold Star. Hell Freezes Over, number 3, is about a woman who leaves the lead character to go out and fight ghosts from her past and set something right.
Snapshots from the 50s.
Snapshots from the 50s. That's not Hell Freeze number 3, is it?
Yeah.
Is
It's
it?
cleaning up the set and stuff, isn't it? And finding old photographs from Hawaii in the 50s.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we cleared out this old woman's storage facility, and she was just an old woman. But in the crates there was an album of snapshots that she'd taken, black and white snapshots she'd taken on vacation in Hawaii, and she looked like one of those 40s or 50s film stars. And it was all these memories that were just locked in that box up in that attic. And there was something about that the music reminded me of, which we put in there as well. Mary Celeste is about the crew of the Mary Celeste, which was a ship that was found 18 something, and it was found abandoned. But no one knew where the crew had gone to. And Mary Celeste is about those people who disappear when they're in a room with other people. So they'll be there, but you don't see them. There's some people that are like that. And
Wallpaper.
yeah, people that blend into the wallpaper and that disappear. And Mary Celeste is about how the crew of the Mary Celeste maybe blended into the actual ship. Because when the ship was found drifting, then all the stuff was there, and I think the goods the ship was carrying was there as well. So and that ends with a jig with these old sailors
A reel.
coming out, or a reel.
A reel,
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah, it's a reel, which could be those sailors coming out of the woodwork again and coming back to life. The What Did I Do is about the English writer P.G. Wodehouse, who was interned during World War II as a British national when he was in France when the war broke out. He was interned, and seeing as how he was cut off from all contact with the world, and being a very famous writer, he always used to answer his fan mail, and he had a lot of American fans. And the Germans offered, or asked him, why don't you do a broadcast on our radio station and let your American fans know that you're okay? And he agreed to do that and recorded 6 broadcasts for the German Nazi radio. And this was broadcast to the UK, where a lot of people heard the broadcasts and thought he was willfully
Working for the Germans.
not working for the Germans, but he was on German radio, which basically is an act of treason, like Lord Haw Haw did as well. And the rest of his life, when the war ended and he found out what the Nazis had done and how incredibly stupid he had been, he avoided the UK altogether and moved to the United States, where he lived till he died. And I think he was knighted in 77 or 75 or 76. I'm regressing again. And it was only when he was knighted that he felt that this entire affair was forgotten. So that song is about how his ghosts would sit on the porch and listen to these recordings of the broadcasts again and again and try to figure out what was wrong with them. Because they were just humorous broadcasts, just talking about what it's like to be an internee. And I mean, they were in the style of Woodhouse, which is very funny and light. And there's no political sentiment in them whatsoever. And the song is about how you can be born into a society or a country, and it's a question of how much can be demanded of your participation in whatever society you're born in, and how much freedom do you have to retreat from society and do your own thing, and how big is the obligation you have to be a part of whatever's going on around you. And Golem is a song about an American serviceman in World War I who dies in World War I and returns to his hometown to hear them play taps at the stadium in his hometown. And he returns in our time to find everything has changed. Golem is I think is a Jewish creature made of mud. And as a title, I think for the soldiers of World War I, a creature of mud is a fitting image, I think. And we took some lyrics from a famous song from World War I, which is called
The Rose of No Man's Land.
The Rose of No Man's Land, which we include in the chorus of the track as well. So that's...
We had to rewrite it a little to make it fit our
Yes,
purpose. But so that's sacrilege, I guess. But it's yeah, it was really, really strong in that context. So we had to nick some of that.
We changed it, and I think it fit very well. The Dumb is about how parents with children who were different to maybe autistic children or whatever, or sick, whatever, and how they can, or how they struggle to get through to them. So these children are a little bit like ghosts, and we thought it would fit on the album as another way of approaching the subject of ghosts. And Hell Freezes number 4 is the finale to the album, where all of this blends together for the lead character, and basically ends up where it started, with him back to himself after all these ghosts have paraded and marched by him. And that's the album.